So for me, that's a really great question because I'm high energy and also being a mom of seven, now I have four, I was gonna say just four at home, but whew, they're all like college and graduating senior and then high school and elementary. For me, the rest is kind of two, threefold. One, it's actually literally physically laying down, like just putting the laptop down and going in and saying 15 minutes. I don't care what's on my phone. I don't care what anybody needs. Cause I always think, oh, what if my kids need me right that second? They have a flat tire, right? It's like, too bad, then call AAA. So I'm just going to lay down for 15 minutes and I'm just going to be clear. And that's usually when I do that meditation, or I'll just have a ponder prayer and just a gratitude prayer or something like that, like Cami was talking about. So that is literally rest for me. Then there's a restful attitude. So it's me recognizing when I'm hurrying through my day instead of just pace through my day. So today it's back to back, and I could have had another phone call between 9:30 and 10. And I was like, I'm not doing it. I'm going to eat breakfast like a human being, and I'm just going to slowly get ready. And guess what? My older daughter happened to be home, and I'm putting on makeup and doing my hair, and we ended up having a beautiful chat, and it was lovely, absolutely lovely, beautiful moment. I would have missed that. So it's a restful attitude that I'm trying to cultivate more. Again, that ease and flow. So to me, rest doesn't mean I'm just laying down, but it means I'm approaching things with that restful, peaceful, got all the time in the world, the Lord's time. I don't know if I shared this with you because someone shared it with me. So you can go like this, Lamira, if I've already shared it. But a friend of ours said, we were talking about the Lord's time. There's Newton time, which is there's a certain amount of time. And then there's Einstein time, which is it's kind of expanded. Your hand on a hot stove feels like an hour when it's only been a second. And when you're with your loved one, whatever, a second feels, well, anyway, when you're with a boring professor, a second feels like an hour. Anyway, and then there's the Lord's time, which he expands, and we can trust in the Lord's time so that we know that we can have rest. So Jeffrey R. Holland was meeting with a leader, and before this leader went in, the secretary said he only has 5 minutes. So this leader went into this interview, and as he's being asked questions by Elder Holland, he gives him 1-2 word answers. He's just being totally like this. Finally, after like a minute or so, Elder Holland's like, okay, what's going on? Like, and he's like, what? He's like, I'm trying to have a conversation with you, but this is not a conversation. What's going on? And he said, well, they told me you only had 5 minutes. And he said, this is the Lord's time, and it will be just as much as it needs to be. And then this leader said, I went on to have this incredible conversation. We laughed. It was wonderful. It was all of that. He said, I walked out and I was thinking it could not have been shorter than 30 minutes. It was so fulfilling. It was wonderful. Looked at his watch, literally 5 minutes. So I keep that in my mind of when I'm talking to someone or I'm running to go get kids and I'm thinking, no, I'm the one that's making my time go so fast and so packed. I can be at peace and I can trust in the Lord's time to expand as I need. So those are just a couple of thoughts on being restful for me or taking a rest. I would love to hear from you ladies. Anything like that? I love 5 minutes in the bathroom or 30 minutes in the shower. Does that count? We take it when we can get it and we carve it out, right? And we treat it like it's sacred space, right? My kids know that when I put a sign on the door and says, do not open, they do not open. They know I'm not kidding. Yeah. And their car privileges are at stake. I love Taryn. I think that totally counts. I've started silent showers where I'm not listening to anything but my thoughts or the water falling. Yes. And isn't it so true that water is so conducive with spirituality? And when you think about ordinances and things like that, a lot of things with water, it's just that conduit. I love that. You take a nice hot bath, a nice shower. It's so therapeutic. You're kind of physically and mentally and spiritually cleaning anything that doesn't belong, that's not serving you. That's a beautiful way to feel restful and approach your day in a restful way. Now I've got an older one that she's studying and she's doing stuff in the night. So it's hard. It's hard with all those different things that go back and forth and individual. And again, going back to that adaptable. I love, Taryn calls it the digital sunset. I love that there is an expectation in your home that this is what we do. We turn off the phones at this time. We turn off phones at meals. That's the expectation in our house. No phones at the table or the counter. So we can have an engaged conversation. I love it. And those small little decisions make a huge difference. So we don't have to feel like to do holy habits, it's got to be this overhaul and this huge thing. We can do the small things. We can, just like was put in the comment, I make sure when I eat a meal, I sit and eat. Take just those 5 to 15 minutes to just sit. Exactly. I've been doing the same thing. My daughter taught me to make a tray at lunch and make the plate pretty instead of like I'm grabbing something and getting yogurt and then hurry go on to the next thing, of making it a time that in my mind it's set apart. I'm consecrating that space of, I'm resting. I'm doing the opposite in all things. I am enjoying my life. I'm not just humming through it. So I love that. Rest can also equal life-giving activities. Reading, baking, or creating can be helpful as well. Yes, 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 yes. And those dominoes, again, as we show those healthy ways to rest and that it's part of being a mother and a woman, right? Being a person, we show and teach our children. We don't give lip service and say, yes, we need to have a balanced life, people. We're showing them. We're saying, when you're a mom, this is what you do. You say, darlings, I love you. And you can solve the problem of we can't find the certain leotard, right? You can solve that problem. Have you prayed about it? Have you asked your sister? Go solve that problem. I love that, Cami. I think them being able to bond together as siblings is helped when we say, well, go ask your sister and see if she can help you with that right now because mom's resting. I think it teaches them, oh, this is something we better value. Or mom's going to wake up all angry and she's going to say no, right?